Hey everyone, this is Acid Roots. We've got a review for you, and this is some horror stuff. So, this is Brotha Lynch hung. A little bit about him. I don't know him terribly well, but I will say that, he's kind of, you can tell by his name that he's not your average rapper. And so this is like a genre, like horrorcore. I wanna have it have like a more approachable name, but I'm trying to hiccup. Kind of just smutty music, real, I guess, uh, horrific stuff. Really, there's a number of people that take care of this sort of thing, and luckily he's one of the premier ones to do it. So he has a trilogy, and this is the Kothanga Strangla, something like that. I think that's how it is. But he started it 2010 and he finished it up 2013. So there are 3 albums. This is the third. If you like this record, there's 2 more for you to check out, and I do recommend you do that. It's not often that trilogies get completed when it comes to music. The closest thing I could think of would be the Joker cards from ICP. So it's enticing, and I will say, I'm trying to get this without a glare, but it's a little bit hard to do. Um, yeah, I just don't really think I can do that. So you can't see my eyes. What I've thought is I enjoyed this, but at the same time, it did piss me off because I don't know. Like, I like the fact that out of 14 songs, I like 9 of them, but I don't know. I guess I'm just being a little bit picky just because there were 3 songs that I almost liked, but the reason why I didn't was um because he only does 2 verses and then it goes to like the background. This might be a concept of sorts because he talks about how he killed someone over the phone, and then another record he just switches it up entirely for like a rock based segment. I mean, that was one of the best beats on the record. It was Eating You, and I really liked that first 2.5 minutes of the song, and then it changes up. But I've always disliked that, and I will say that I just don't like when I start off listening to a beat and then it becomes something else. Drake does that, and I do not like that. But other than that, I mean, this record is quality. I need to explore. Like, there's a record by him called Season of the Sickness, which people have said is one of the best albums in horror, and it's worthwhile. If you remember when I said KOD would change your way of thinking, this is yet another one that'll do that. And the only reason I say that is just because he talks to you as if, murdering someone is not a horrifying subject. I mean, that's pretty much and maybe he doesn't do that, but it's so commonplace on this record that you would think, well, what else is there to talk about? No, it's pretty much, people, and that's the thing that's more important. That's step 1. Step 2 is people listen to it as if, I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but it just, when you look at it, it's like, you know, like people actually get excited to this sort of music. I know obviously it's just theatrics, but like, um, really, so Tech Nine's a little bit more loose when it comes to that sort of thing, but he is on this record, and that's pretty much the only thing is it is gory. I haven't really listened to the lyrics entirely. I just have been trying to figure out if I like the song. That's usually the first thing that I do, is just figure out whether or not I like it. Because if I do, then I start listening to the lyrics, and that's where I'm going from. So it's worthwhile, and you know, I think you'll enjoy it. He's pretty similar to Tech Nine, except he's just a little bit more illicit and a little bit more explicit with what he says. So yeah, so it's I'm just trying to figure out how to explain how it would change your way of thinking. Yeah, I think I said it, but so there are some smoking songs on here. A couple of my favorites are "I Give Up," "Stab," and "Mask and Knife," and "The Package" with Yellow Wolf. Those are four of the ones I liked a lot. Most of these songs have good productions, and I'll talk about some of them, like something or "Can I Have a Napkin?" That one kind of was close to having a good beat, but it didn't quite work. And "Dead Bitch" was another one. These are the almost songs. "Eating You," "Can I Have a Napkin?" and "Dead Bitch" were the three songs that were really close, but mainly because they were just too short. Brotha Lynch does that. There's a couple of songs that are just only two verses, and it just feels incomplete. But um, so let's talk about some of these records. Trying to think of which ones I want to talk about. No, the unheard songs. So really, the 9 records that I liked on here were "Crocodile," spelled with a K, "The Package," "Something About Susan," "Mask and Knife," "Meat Cleaver," "I Give Up," "Stabbed," "Body on the Floor," and "Sweeney Todd." Now, out of these 9 songs, "I Give Up" was a really good one. "Stabbed" was a really good one. "Body on the Floor" I don't really remember, but I think you'll like it. Something About Susan, "The Package." These are good records. Yeah, I mean, just check out them as a whole. I think you'll enjoy them. So, yeah, but, you know, the main part about it is just the production is a little bit creepier than your standard rap record. So, if Tech Nine is kind of like the creepier cousin of Eminem, um, Brotha Lynch is like that creepier cousin's sick and twisted coworker. Let's just suppose Tech Nine is the one that dissects frogs. This guy is the one that is a little bit sicker than that. He's, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least Tech Nine would go out and go to clubs, and he just really got wrecked when he was at the club. But Brotha Lynch is just more focused on the creepiness of these records. So that's kind of what you get, and that what that means is the productions complement the words that he's saying. I do like these dark instrumentals, but there really isn't that much of a sense of going out, which is pretty much the only thing that eludes this album. So it's creepy and everything, but it takes a little bit more getting used to than a Tech Nine record. So that's the main thing. I do like it, but it's hard to recommend. It's hard to get females to listen to this, and it's also, there's just not dancing records or anything. I mean, it's focused. So I do like it, but this is, the further you delve into this style, the less likely it is to be outgoing, which is something I've realized. But so I give this album, because I like 9 out of 14, I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10. And if it just, if it would have been one more song, I probably would have given it a 9 or a 9.5. But, those three almost songs, if I end up liking those, I'm not going to make a review 3 days later or 3 months later. I'm just going to say it's a 10, because if you can refer to it as a 10 out of 10 if I end up liking those records, and plus if you like them. So, but as far as like a social score goes, I'm gonna give it like a 6.5 out of 10, just because it's good, and people will probably like this dude. He's pretty slick. He's cold as ice, but it's a little bit too campy. It's really centered on its vision that it wanted, and we just needed some more records saying, well, what else do I do besides think of my next victim? And there just isn't a lot of that. So, that's the only thing about horrorcore is, it's focused on the horror of it. So, when people like Tech 9 kind of blur the lines, that's something that I think we need more people like him. Because Eminem even does it, but, it just is kind of a little bit. But, I could talk about this for a long time. So I try to keep these reviews short. So I give this album an 8.5 out of 10 and a 6.5 social. Subscribe for more fun.